Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson have reportedly been told they're not welcome at the royal family's Christmas celebrations this year.
King Charles allegedly wants them to be invisible at future royal events. But is it time that he just completely cut ties with them, cast them out of the royal realm? Chief royal correspondent for Newsweek, Jack Royston, says yes, it's about time. Royal commentator Daisy McAndrew believes the family needs a better way to deal with the pair of them. So very good morning to you both. Jack, will they be allowed at Sandringham for Christmas at all, or will they just be banned from the walkabout?
I think it's definitely possible that they'll be at the big house at Sandringham to join the royals for their Christmas celebrations, but you really don't get to know who's there unless they walk to church. So, you know, Sandringham Church is so far from the actual big house in Sandringham, you would have no idea. They succeeded in keeping Andrew away last year. It may well be they succeed in keeping him away again, but churches are a difficult thing because Andrew's a Christian, and he will always argue that he has the right to practice his religion. And
of course, the church preaches forgiveness, and it's Christmas Day, so that's going to look pretty awkward. But do you think they should just be banned from the royal family?
Yeah, look, this is... the average age for a new mum is 29, right? If you're 29, you have been living with this story for 15 years, since you were 14 years old. And scandals that don't go away cause really long-term reputational damage. And the monarchy is at a point now where the damage from the Epstein saga could become irreversible.
Gosh, so Daisy McAndrew, they're being airbrushed. They're not being kind of removed entirely, they're being airbrushed. Is that the right PR decision for the palace?
I think it's really difficult. I have sympathy with Charles in this position because we know as a personality he is sentimental, he's very family-focused. He's approaching his late 70s, he's living with cancer, and I think he is the type of person who just wants to be much more forgiving. He's deeply religious, and I think he does want to have his family close by. He's already lost Harry. Now, I'm not saying that Andrew and Fergie are terribly likeable people, and I do understand why there are hundreds of millions of people that want to see them ostracised, but I don't think that Charles truly does want to do that. I think that's more William wanting that to be done to protect the royal family, and I just have a bit of sympathy with Charles for wanting to have them there.
But if it's the PR pictures, so we're not going to have the pictures of them walking to church, but they can actually be there in private. Is that OK?
I think that is OK, but that's not the messages that is coming out. The message is that Charles is taking a really firm line, that he's changed his mind, that he no longer wants to have some Sarah and Andrew within the family, because it was Charles that did the olive branch. It was Philip that really wanted Fergie not to have anything to do with the royal family, that he kept her away. And it was Charles that very much, when he came to the throne, started saying, no, she is more welcome now than she used to be.
The problem here is that you give Andrew an inch and he takes a mile, and this is why Charles is now at a point where it has to be a hard line, because they did this thing where they say, well, you can just turn up to church, don't make a scene. And then we saw him at the Duchess of Kent's funeral just a couple of weeks ago, went straight over to Prince William in front of the cameras, started talking to him. William blanked him. Andrew persisted, and the guy has no shame, and he will not stop doing this unless you hard freeze him out.
I think there is some truth in that, but I also think there's truth in you can control somebody better by having them within. And we saw that with Charles's uncle, who after the abdication was completely turned away from the royal family, but made a lot of trouble for the royals from when he was living with Wallis Simpson in France. We saw it from Diana when she was ostracised. She made an awful lot of trouble for the royal family, and we've seeing it with Harry in Montecito, that he is making a lot of trouble. I just think sometimes controlling somebody, keeping them within the tent, even if they are toxic, like Andrew is, you have a better chance of keeping them under wraps.
We asked you on X, is it time the King completely cut ties with Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson? Well, look at the result. There's not many of you got any sympathy. No. 94% say cast them out. They're trouble.
Yeah, but that's before they heard Daisy's compelling argument.
I'm sure it's probably completely the reverse now. It's
not a lot of
4%. Look, we know
is there?
We know he is deeply toxic. We know that. I just feel sorry.
Thank you both very much indeed.